Hello, fans and friends. You're welcome to my page. You're welcome to. It's still your favorite English teacher, Fidelia Uchi. In our previous class, we discussed the introduction to verbs. I told you that in our next class, we're going to look at the classifications. Remember, we said that verbs are the class of words that express actions and the state of being. And I equally told you that we have functional verbs and non-functional verbs, and a lot of things on how to identify verb. I told you about the classifications, and we are going to look at them in details today. We are going to talk about the main verbs and the auxiliary verb. The main verb, the main verbs and the auxiliary verb. The main verb is obtainable in a situation where there are more than one verb in a sentence. There are sentences where you will notice that there are more than one verb. And this is where you will have what you call main verb and then auxiliary verb. The main verb expresses the action or the main information in the sentence, while the auxiliary verb is a helping verb. The auxiliary verb helps the main verb to complete its meaning by adding tense to the action. Let's take for example, mother is cooking our dinner. In this sentence, is cooking are the verbs in this sentence. Is the auxiliary verb, while cooking is the main verb. Another example, she has bought the textbook. Has bought is the are the verbs in this sentence. Has is an auxiliary verb, while bought is the main verb. From the examples, you will notice that the main verbs cannot stand alone in the sentences, and the auxiliary verbs complete their meaning by giving tense, that is, the time, to the main verb. We have two types of auxiliary verbs. We have the primary auxiliary verbs and the modal auxiliary verbs. Primary auxiliary verbs and modal auxiliary verbs. Let's start with the primary auxiliary verbs. Primary auxiliary verbs have two functions. They can serve as a main verb, that is, they can stand alone in a sentence and make a Verb B has these forms: is, are, am, was, were, being, been, and be. Verb do has these forms: does, do, did, done, doing. Verb have are, has, have, had, past, had, perfect, and having. Now let's use them in examples, how they work as a main verb and how they work as an auxiliary verb. The first one says, I am happy. You can see here that am here is standing alone in the sentence. Therefore, it is a main verb. Another one is, I am singing happily. I am singing happily. I'm singing is the verbs here. And the am is serving as an auxiliary verb. We do our house chores. Here, do is standing alone as the main verb. We do write our homework. Do write are the verbs here. So do is serving as an auxiliary verb here. She has a beautiful dress. Has is standing alone as the main verb here. She has bought a beautiful dress. Has is serving as an auxiliary verb helping the verb bought. That is the main verb. Now let's look at the modal auxiliary. The modal auxiliary verbs have only one rule in a sentence, which is serving as an auxiliary verb because they cannot stand alone in a sentence. They are will, would, can, could, shall, should, may, might, ought to, must. They can be used to make some expressions like future action, ability, possibility, obligation, promise, permission, and so many other expressions. Let's see some of the examples. Some of the examples where they express these are: 1. I shall travel to the village next week. I shall travel to the village. This one is expressing future action. He will pay the fees tomorrow. Future action 2. She can speak English fluently. This one expresses ability. I can ride a bicycle. This one is ability too. It expresses. He might forget to buy the foodstuff. This one expresses possibility. It may rain this morning. Possibility too. You should pray every night. This expresses obligation. One must go to school early. Obligation too. I shall help you copy your notes. This is a promise. They will accompany you. They will accompany you. It's also expressing promise. He may borrow my notes. You may come with me. These ones, they express permission. Yeah, this is all we have on main and auxiliary verb. Remember we said that we can obtain main and auxiliary verb when we have more than one verb in a sentence. The main verb tells you the main action or the main information in a sentence, while the auxiliary is the helping verb. Yeah. In our next class, we'll be talking about another classification of verb. I will be happy if you will be directing your questions to the comment section. Thank you for listening. Always like and follow my page. Your favorite English teacher, Fidelia Uchi. Thank you for listening.